even do ASMR. I don't know if you could hear me though. Well, hello. I'm doing my best to talk very softly, and it's not easy. Mm. Hey, hi everyone. Oh yeah, konbanmu. What news with you? How is everybody? How are you, Rohel? How are you, Jackson? Am I too loud? You know what? It's really difficult right now because like I purposely turn off all the filters for the audio so you can hear a lot of noises, including my tongue clicking, my jaw snapping, everything that's going on with my face. Now you can hear it clearly, and I'm very nervous. Good evening, Mooyü. I hope you had a great day. Thank you, Juan. Buenos dias, Juan. ¿Cómo estás? Pretty tired at the moment. Well, I mean, as much as I want to say, I hope these bedtime stories can help you, but I don't know. Oh my gosh. Walking to work in -4 degrees. Shima, what the heck? Oh my god, I can't even scream. I wanna cry. But yes, Shima, good luck. I know you can do it. You wear layers. Soft tooting. What do you mean by that, Suba? Hi, Suba. Oh yeah, hi, Shima. What news with you? How are you guys? I hope you guys have a wonderful day or evening. Oh my god, am I even talking softly at this point? Also, do let me know if the background music is too loud, because I did a test, but I don't know if it's still too loud or not. So do let me know. And another thing is, well, I should oh, BGM is a little too loud. Okay. Hold on. You can hear the mouse clicking and all that. Let me put it in. Oh, you're gonna hear the keyboard now. Eh? How about that? Sorry if that suddenly went so loud, like boom. my typing is the best right now. Is that okay? Or should I lower it even more? Sudden ear blasting. I know. I'm so sorry. Go man. I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm really sorry. Go in. Go in. Is that okay though? Is now okay? I'm sorry. Go in. But now is it okay now? I hope it's okay now. Let me know if it needs like more low, like lower more. Maybe more. Okay, hold on. I got you guys. I got you. How about that? Is that okay? Or is that too low now? Is it? Oh, hey Lanka. How are you? Soft Ibu. Apa kabar? Kabar baik. Apa kabar Langka? I hope you have I hope you have a wonderful day and or evening, and good luck with everything that you do. I hope BGM is good now. Tell me, okay? And I'll try to talk softly. I can't whisper. I suck at whispering. So, yeah. Disclaimer before I start reading the stories. I am not good at pronunciation and well, then again, I'm not good at speaking to begin with, but yeah, I'm not good at pronunciation, so I do apologize in advance if I can't pronounce some of the words. And then I don't know if it's okay to read fairy tales, but I remember someone said that it's okay to read stories that are over 100 years old. So I'm gonna do this, but if it gets like copyright problems, then I might have to, you know, have to unarchive it. So yeah. Bot, get away, bot. I'm trying to whisper here. Can't even whisper. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Anya. There you go. Did I even... Okay, I did. Oh no, I didn't. Oh well. Somehow manage it. Okay. Let me bring the chat lower a little bit. I'll put it here. There, somewhere there. Weird placement, but that's okay. The irony of mispronouncing pronunciation. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You laugh at library, you get punished? No, I can't laugh. Oh my god, that's gonna be difficult. Well, I'll do my best. I'll do my best. Okay. Another thing is that just let me know, like, if I get too loud or if something else gets too loud. Oh my god, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. Okay. Soft Mooyü, nice. Hey, Manny. Oh my god, I can't even do Valley Girl accent. Can I even do Valley Girl accent with a soft voice? Oh my god. Oh my god, okay. Hum. I can't laugh. Alright, I'll do my best. Do you want me to whisper or do you want me to talk like this? Like try to talk as softly as possible, but not whisper. Which one do you guys prefer? Well, personally, I prefer like this since I'll be reading the stories, but yeah. Let me know. Both work for me. Okay. I'll do my best. Now the stories, thank you. Thank you, Lanka. Need more whispering for comparison. Well, the thing is with whispering, it's really hard because sometimes the mic doesn't pick up. So I have to whisper loud. So either you want a loud whispering or a soft talk. She might be like, talk. I can't. I shouldn't use my normal voice. And you're gonna be shook. But yeah, this mic isn't for ASMR. I tried to set it up like an ASMR setting, so I'm doing my best. And yeah, I'm gonna read a couple of Hans Christian Andersen stories. Because I used to read a few of them, just a few, probably a couple. So now I want to remember. The stories. Ba-bum. I don't know if you guys can read it, but I'm putting it there. You don't have to read it. You can just listen, maybe. But yeah. So nervous. Again, I apologize in advance. Okay. First story. The Emperor's New Suit by Hans Christian Andersen, 1837. Hey. Many, many years ago lived an emperor who thought so much of new clothes that he spent all his money in order to obtain them. His only ambition was to be always well dressed. He did not care for his soldiers, and the theater did not amuse him. The only thing, in fact, he thought anything of was to drive out and show a new suit of clothes. I'm reading the chat. Stop, it's not sushi, okay? He had a coat for every hour of the day, and as one would say of a king, he is in his cabinet. So one could say of him, the emperor is in his dressing room. The great city where he resided was very gay. Every day, many strangers from all parts of the globe arrived. One day, two swindlers came to the city. They made people believe that they were weavers and declared they could manufacture the finest cloth to be imagined. The colors and patterns, they said, were not only exceptionally beautiful, but the clothes made of their material possessed the wonderful quality of being invisible to any man who was unfit for his office or unpardonably stupid. That must be wonderful clothes, thought the emperor. If I were to be dressed in a suit made of this cloth, I should be able to find out which men in my empire were unfit for their places, and I could distinguish the clever from the stupid. I must have this cloth woven for me without delay. And he gave a large sum of money to the swindlers in advance that they should set to work without any loss of time. They set up 2 looms and pretended to be very hard at work, but they did nothing whatever on the looms. They asked for the finest silk and the most precious gold cloth. All they got, they did away with, and worked at the empty looms till late at night. I should very much like to know how they are getting on with the clothes, thought the emperor. But he felt rather uneasy when he remembered that he, who was not fit for his office, could not see it. Personally, he was of opinion that he had nothing to fear, yet he thought it advisable to send somebody else first to see how matters stood. Wait, I need to burp. Okay, I'm back. I don't want you guys to hear my burp. Wait, where were we? Oh my god, I lost track. Anya, Anya, where were we? Oh, there it is. Okay, I see it. Stop. No, no burp ASMR. No, no, no. Everybody in Everybody in the town knew what a remarkable quality the stuff possessed, and all were anxious to see how bad or how stupid their neighbors were. Hello, faceless supporter. I hope you have a good day or evening. Good luck with everything that you do. Sorry. Wait. Oh yeah, I remember now. Okay. I shall send my honest old minister to the weavers, thought the emperor. He can judge best how the stuff looks, for he is intelligent and nobody understands his office better than he. Sorry, I know I keep burping. Sometimes I can't hold it. Alright, go in. The good old minister went into the room where the swindlers sat before the empty looms. Heaven preserve us, he thought, and opened his eyes wide. I cannot see anything at all. But he did not say so. Both swindlers requested him to come near and asked him if he did not admire the exquisite pattern and the beautiful colors, pointing to the empty looms. The poor old minister tried his very best, but he could see nothing, for there was nothing to be seen. Stop it, Suba. I'm not gonna let it out. I will let it out. Away from the microphone. Right. Okay. Oh dear, he thought. Can I be so stupid? I should never have thought so, and nobody must know it. Is it possible that I am not fit for my office? No, I cannot say that. I was unable to see the cloth. Wait, I'm gonna scroll a little bit. Okay. Now, have you got nothing to say? Said one of the swindlers, while he pretended to be busily weaving. Oh, it is very pretty, exceedingly beautiful, replied the old minister, looking through his glasses. What a beautiful pattern! What brilliant colors! I shall tell the emperor that I like the cloth very much. We are pleased to hear that, said the two weavers, and described to him the colors and explained the curious pattern. The old minister listened attentively, that he might relate to the emperor what they said, and so he did. Now the swindlers asked for more money, silk and gold cloth, which they required for weaving. They kept everything for themselves, and not a thread came near the loom, but they continued. Oh my god, what is that word? As hitherto to work at the empty looms. Soon afterwards, the emperor sent another honest courtier to the weavers to see how they were getting on, and if the cloth was nearly finished. Like the old minister, he looked and looked, but could see nothing, as there was nothing to be seen. Is it not a beautiful piece of cloth? Asked the two swindlers, showing and explaining the magnificent pattern, which, however, did not exist. I am not stupid, said the man. "It is therefore my good appointment for which I am not fit. It is very strange, but I must not let anyone know it." And he praised the cloth, which he did not see, and expressed his joy at the beautiful colors and the fine pattern. "It is very excellent," he said to the emperor. Everybody in the whole town talked about the precious cloth. At last, the emperor wished to see it himself, while it was still on the loom. With a number of courtiers, including the two who had already been there, he went to the two clever swindlers who now worked as hard as they could, but without using any thread. "Is it not magnificent?" said the two old statesmen who had been there before. "Your Majesty must admire the colors and the pattern." And then they pointed to the empty looms, for they imagined the others could see the cloth. "What is this?" thought the emperor. "I do not see anything at all. That is terrible. Am I stupid? Am I unfit to be emperor? That would indeed be the most dreadful thing that could happen to me." "Really," he said, turning to the weavers, "your cloth has our most gracious approval." And nodding contentedly, he looked at the empty loom, for he did not like to say that he saw nothing. All his attendants who were with him looked and looked, and although they could not see anything more than the others, they said, like the emperor, "It is very beautiful." And all advised him to wear the new magnificent clothes at the great procession which was soon to take place. "It is magnificent, beautiful, excellent," one heard them say. Everybody seemed to be delighted, and the emperor appointed the two swindlers imperial court weavers. The whole night previous to the day on which the procession was to take place, the swindlers pretended to work and burn more than 16 candles. People should see that they were busy to finish the emperor's new suit. They pretended to take the cloth from the loom and worked about in the air with big scissors and sewed with needles without thread, and said at last, "The emperor's new suit is ready now." The emperor and all his barons then came to the hall. The swindlers held their arms up as if they held something in their hands and said, "These are the trousers, this is the coat, and here is the cloak," and so on. They are all as light as a cobweb, and one must feel as if one had nothing at all upon the body, but that is just the beauty of them. "Indeed," said all the courtiers, but they could not see anything, for there was nothing to be seen. "Does it please your Majesty now to graciously undress," said the swindlers, "that we may assist your Majesty in putting on the new suit before the large looking-glass?" The emperor undressed, and the swindlers pretended to put the new suit upon him, one piece after another, and the emperor looked at himself in the glass from every side. "How well they look! How well they fit!" said all. "What a beautiful pattern! What fine colors! That is a magnificent suit of clothes!" The master of the ceremonies announced that the bearers of the canopy, which was to be carried in the procession, were ready. "I am ready," said the emperor. "Does not my suit fit me marvelously?" Then he turned once more to the looking glass, that people should think he admired his garments. The chamberlains who were there to carry the train stretched their hands to the ground as if they lifted up the train and pretended to hold something in their hands. They did not like people to know that they could not see anything. The emperor marched in the procession under the beautiful canopy, and all who saw him in the street and out of the windows exclaimed, "Indeed, the emperor's new suit is incomparable. What a long train he has! Sorry, am I too loud? How well it fits him!" Nobody wished to let others know he saw nothing, for then he would have been unfit for his office or too stupid. Never emperor's clothes were more admired. "But he has nothing on at all," said a little child at last. "Good heavens, listen to the voice of an innocent child," said the father, and one whispered to the other what the child had said. "But he has nothing on at all," cried at last the whole people. That made a deep impression upon the emperor, for it seemed to him that they were right. But he thought to himself, "Now I must bear up to the end." And the chamberlains walked with a still greater dignity, as if they carried the train which did not exist. The end. And yeah, yes, he walked naked. Oh my god. Oh, that's fun. You can see his royal Twitter posted to the public. Oh my god. Yes, I get it. Oh my god. But yes. Good on him for the follow through though. Yes. He faced it. Oh, that was fun. I actually remember reading this. I need to soften my voice. Soften voice. Okay. I remember reading these stories when back then. This particular one, I think it's one of his popular stories by Hans Christian Andersen. So yeah, and he would and he would walk 500 more. Yup, man. Yeah, that's fun. Yay! I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now, next story is also all of these stories are by Hans Christian Andersen, the ones that I'm about to read today. So next story is The Brave Tin Soldier by Christian Andersen, 1838. This one I haven't this story I haven't read actually, so I don't know what's gonna happen. We're all gonna find out together. Okay. Okay. There were once 25 tin soldiers who were all brothers, for they had been made out of the same old tin spoon. They shouldered arms and looked straight before them and wore a splendid uniform, red and blue. The first thing in the world they ever heard were the words "tin soldiers," uttered by a little boy who clapped his hands with delight when the lid of the box in which they lay was taken off. They were given him for a birthday present, and he stood at the table to set them up. The soldiers were all exactly alike, excepting one who had only one leg. He had been left. He had been left to the last, and there was not enough of the melted tin to finish him. So they made him to stand firmly on one leg, and this caused him to be very remarkable. Alright. Sorry. Okay. The table on which the tin soldiers stood was covered with other playthings. But the most attractive to the eye was a pretty little paper castle. Through the small windows, the room could be seen. In front of the castle, a number of little trees surrounded a piece of looking glass, which was intended to represent a transparent lake. Transparent lake. Swans made of wax swam on the lake and were reflected in it. All this was very pretty, but the prettiest of all was a tiny little lady who stood at the open door of the castle. She also was made of paper, and she wore a dress of clear muslin with a narrow blue ribbon over her shoulders, just like a scarf. In front of these was fixed a glittering tinsel rose as large as her whole face. The little lady was a dancer, and she stretched out both arms and raised one of her legs so high that the tin soldier could not see it at all. And he thought that she, like himself, had only one leg. "That is the wife for me," he thought, "but she is too grand and lives in a castle, while I have only a box to live in. 25 of us all together. That is no place for her. Still, I must try and make her acquaintance." Then he laid himself at full length on the table behind a snuff box that stood upon it, so that he could peep at the little delicate lady who continued to stand on one leg without losing her balance. When evening came, the other tin soldiers were all placed in a box, and the people of the house went to bed. Then the playthings began to have their own games together, to pay visits, to have sham fights, and to give balls. The tin soldiers rattled in their box. They wanted to get out and join the amusements, but they could not open the lid. The nutcrackers played at leapfrog, and the pencil jumped about the table. There was such a noise that the canary woke up and began to talk, and in poetry too. Only the tin soldier and the dancer remained in their places. She stood on tiptoe, with her legs stretched out as firmly as he did on his one leg. He never took his eyes from her for even a moment. The clock struck 12, and, with a bounce, up sprang the lid of the snuff box, but instead of snuff, there jumped a little black goblin, for the snuff box was a toy puzzle. "Tin soldier," said the goblin, "don't wish for what does not belong to you." But the tin soldier pretended not to hear. Sorry, scrolling. "Very well, wait till tomorrow then," said the goblin. When the children came in the next morning, they placed the tin soldier in the window. Now, whether it was the goblin who did it or the draught is not known, but the window flew open and out fell the tin soldier, heels over head, from the third story into the street beneath. It was a terrible fall, for he came head downwards, his helmet and his bayonet stuck in between the flagstones, and his one leg up in the air. The servant maid and the little boy went downstairs directly to look for him, but he was nowhere to be seen, although once they nearly trod upon him. If he had called out, "Here I am," it would have been all right, but he was too proud to cry out for help while he wore a uniform. Oh. Presently it began to rain, and the drops fell faster and faster, till there was a heavy shower. When it was over, two boys happened to pass by, and one of them said, "Look, there is a tin soldier. He ought to have a boat to sail in." So they made a boat out of a newspaper and placed the tin soldier in it and sent him sailing down the gutter, while the two boys ran by the side of it and clapped their hands. Good gracious, what large waves arose in that gutter, and how fast the stream rolled on! For the rain had been very heavy. The paper boat rocked up and down and turned itself round sometimes so quickly that the tin soldier trembled, yet he remained firm. His countenance did not change. He looked straight before him and shouldered his musket. Suddenly, the boat shot under a bridge which formed a part of a drain, and then it was as dark as the tin soldier's box. "Where am I going now?" thought he. "This is the Black Goblin's fault, I am sure. Well, if the little lady were only here with me in the boat, I should not care for any darkness." Suddenly, there appeared a great water rat who lived in the drain. "Have you a passport?" asked the rat. "Give it to me at once." But the tin soldier remained silent and held his musket tighter than ever. Scrolling. The boat sailed on, and the rat followed it. How he did gnash his teeth and cry out to the bits of wood and straw, "Stop him! Stop him! He has not paid toll! He has not shown his pass!" But the stream rushed on stronger and stronger. The tin soldier could already see daylight shining where the arch ended. Then he heard a roaring sound quite terrible enough to frighten the bravest man. At the end of the tunnel, the drain fell into a large canal over a steep place, which made it as dangerous for him as a waterfall would be to us. He was too close to it to stop, so the boat rushed on, and the poor tin soldier could only hold himself as stiffly as possible without moving an eyelid to show that he was not afraid. The boat whirled round 3 or 4 times and then filled with water to the very edge. Nothing could save it from sinking. He now stood up to his neck in water, while deeper and deeper sank the boat, and the paper became soft and loose with the wet, till at last the water closed over the soldier's head. He thought of the elegant little dancer whom he should never see again, and the words of the song sounded in his ears. "Farewell, warrior, ever brave, drifting onward to thy grave." Then the paper boat fell to pieces, and the soldier sank into the water and immediately afterwards was swallowed by a great fish. Oh, how dark it was inside the fish, a great deal darker than in the tunnel, and narrower too. But the tin soldier continued firm and lay at full length, shouldering his musket. The fish swam to and fro, making the most wonderful movements, but at last he became quite still. After a while, a flash of lightning seemed to pass through him, and then the daylight approached, and a voice cried out, "I declare here is the tin soldier." The fish had been caught, taken to the market, and sold to the cook, who took him up into the kitchen and cut him open with a large knife. She picked up the soldier and held him by the waist between her finger and thumb and carried him into the room. They were all anxious to see this wonderful soldier who had traveled about inside a fish, but he was not at all proud. They placed him on the table, and how many curious things do happen in the world! There he was in the very same room from the window of which he had fallen. There were the same children, the same playthings standing on the table, and the pretty castle with the elegant little dancer at the door. She still balanced herself on one leg and held up the other, so she was as firm as himself. It touched the tin soldier so much to see her that he almost wept tin tears, but he kept them back. He only looked at her, and they both remained silent. Presently, one of the little boys took up the tin soldier and threw him into the stove. He had no reason for doing so. Therefore, it must have been the fault of the black goblin who lived in the snuff box. Scrolling. The flames lighted up the tin soldier. As he stood, the heat was very terrible, but whether it proceeded from the real fire or from the fire of love he could not tell. Then he could see that the bright colors were faded from his uniform, but whether they had been washed off during his journey or from the effects of his sorrow, no one could say. He looked at the little lady, and she looked at him. He felt himself melting away, but he still remained firm with his gun on his shoulder. Suddenly, the door of the room flew open, and the draught of air caught up the little dancer. She fluttered like a sylph right into the stove by the side of the tin soldier, and was instantly in flames and was gone. The tin soldier melted down into a lump, and the next morning, when the maidservant took the ashes out of the stove, she found him in the shape of a little tin heart. But of the little dancer nothing remained but the tinsel rose, which was burned black as a cinder? Yes. The end. That's really sad. Oh my god. Oh, poor soldier. Oh, that's not a happy ending. Well, I mean, in the end, they were together, sort of, but it's not happy. Well, I guess for them, it's sort of happy ending. I don't know. It's beautiful, but it's sad. Okay, now I need to catch up with the chat. Comment. Oh, I forgot how this story goes. Yeah, I've never heard of this story before. The tin soldier is made out of tin and our soldier class. A goblino. Cerita apa ini? Oh, hello, Koros. It's a fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen. Welcome. I hope you have a wonderful day and or evening. And good luck with everything that you do. Every time I hear this story, it reminds me of Like Toy Soldiers by Eminem. Eh? Okay, I need to hear that. I need to know. What? No. Beautiful yet sad. Mm-hmm. Pain. Yeah. Yeah. Very. It's actually one. Like yeah. Like Faceless Supporter said, it's beautiful yet it's sad. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna drink water first. So I'm gonna mute for a bit so you guys don't hear me gulping water. Like mm, mm. Alright. 1 second. Okay. I am back. I hope everyone drink water too. Hydrate. Don't forget to hydrate. Okay. Next story. I have 5 stories, by the way. I should have said that in the beginning. I have prepared 5 stories by Hans Christian Andersen. And out of the 5, I only know 1, 2, 2 stories. Yeah. Next story. The Princess and the Pea by Hans Christian Andersen, 1835. Now, this story is super short, but I don't know how it goes. So, yeah, let's go. Oh, really? Okay. Other was like 1 page. Yep, it's 1 page. Only 1 page. Alright, let's go. Once upon a time, there was a prince who wanted to marry a princess, but she would have to be a real princess. He traveled all over the world to find one, but nowhere could he get what he wanted. There were princesses enough, but it was difficult to find out whether they were real ones. Oh, wait. There you go. Come in. Okay. There was always something about them that was not as it should be. So he came home again and was sad, for he would have liked very much to have a real princess. One evening, a terrible storm came on. There was thunder and lightning, and the rain poured down in torrents. Suddenly, a knocking was heard at the city gate, and the old king went to open it. Excuse me, I burped. Alright. It was a princess standing out there in front of the gate. But, good gracious, what a sight the rain and the wind had made her look. The water ran down from her hair and clothes. It rained down into the toes of her shoes and out again at the heels. And yet she said that she was a real princess. Well, we'll soon find that out, thought the old queen. But she said nothing, went into the bedroom, took all the bedding off the bedstead, and laid a pea on the bottom. Then she took 20 mattresses and laid them on. Oh, come in. I forgot to mute my phone. There you go. Then she took 20 mattresses and laid them on the pea, and then 20 eider-down beds on top of the mattresses. On this, the princess had to lie all night. In the morning, she was asked how she had slept. Oh, very badly, said she. I have scarcely closed my eyes all night. Heaven only knows what was in the bed, but I was lying on something hard, so that I'm black and blue all over my body. It's horrible. Now they knew that she was a real princess because she had felt the pee right through the 20 mattresses and 20 eider-down beds. Nobody but a real princess could be as sensitive as that. So the prince took her for his wife, for now he knew that he had a real princess, and the pea was put in the museum, where it may still be seen if no one has stolen it. There, that is a true story. And that's it, the end. Well, smart princess, I would say. Princess was very smart. That's the whole story. Yeah. It's a like I I feel like when I look some of the stories and then I stumble upon this one and I was shocked too by how short it is. But I didn't read it because I wanted to know if it's like a funny story or if it's like, you know, a good story. So I purposely didn't read it. I never knew that it would end that way. I feel like my man has had some dating troubles. I know. He has too high of standards, you know? His standards were too high, and that's what he get. A big brain princess, you know? Who knows if she's real or not. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Princess Big Brain, yeah. My mind didn't even get to drift again. Oh, I'm sorry. Try waking up with a dead lizard pizza. Oh my god, I would be. Have I? Oh no, I tweeted this before. But for those of you that don't know, there was one time where I was about to go to bed, and I was lying down on my side. I was facing to the right, and as I was about to close my eyes, I saw a freaking cockroach. A freaking cockroach walked on the bed right in front of me, coming to my face. Like, oh my god. I never felt such huge shock and fear in like few seconds. It's amazing. I never get out of bed so fast in my life. It's, oh my god. Yeah, it's crazy. Also a whole museum for a pea. I know. So funny. Oh no, oh god. Cockroach wanted kissed. Yeah, somebody said that in the reply of the tweet. I think the cockroach just wanted to have a kiss. I'm like, no. No. There is a theory that she knew the pea beforehand and faked her insolence. I've got 2 cockroach stories but too tired to elaborate. No worries, it's okay. You should rest. Go have a good rest, Jackson. Alright. Cockroach wanted secret kisses. Imagine if I didn't see. Like, can you imagine that if I didn't see the cockroach? And then just close my eyes, and then suddenly I could feel like something walked on my face or on my lips. Oh my god. Oh my god. I could go crazy. Wait, 1 second. I am back. Alright, now. How many more stories are there? Two more. Two more, and it's not as short as this one. Also, another alternate is that the pea vanished each night and the princess had stomachache eating frozen raw peas. I don't know actually. I think, but in this particular story, I think she was trying to fool the royal family, right? So she just put the pea under the mattresses and then act out like, oh no, my body is hurting because of this pea. And then the king and queen were like, oh my god, she could totally feel the pea underneath that bed. Damn, she be a real princess. Poor guy. Poor prince, I mean. That prince needs to date, you know. He didn't get a chance to date because he kept looking for the real princess, and so he didn't have a chance to date, so he doesn't know, like, you know, the good relationship or the bad relationship. My man, you needed to mingle before you marry. All right, next story. I know I can feel a single grain of sand in my shoe. Yeah. Yep. You know, even like you know, like one, what is it? One grain of rice, or even definitely a Lego. You could totally feel one Lego stuck on your foot. Okay. Next stories. Sleepy challenge was trending back then. Oh, I need to check. Alright. The Bell by Hans Christian Andersen, 1845. Okay. Oh, I have a habit of scrolling down. Okay. In the narrow streets of a large town, people often heard in the evening, when the sun was setting and his last rays have a golden tint to the chimney. Hello? Are you guys here? Can you guys hear me? Are you guys there? Suddenly my OBS crashed. Oh, I hope you guys can hear me again, but I am back. Okay, alright, I'll restart. Yeah, because my OBS crashed and I was like, oh my god, oh no. Because, you know, I've been doing this very quietly that I forgot I didn't put anything, like I'm not even hearing anything. It's just me. I've been hearing my voice, and so I heard the notification. It was so loud, like I'm like, oh my god. I'm a bobo. But yeah, okay, I'll restart. Rewind. Okay. The Bell by Hans Christian Andersen, 1845. Okay. Please, OBS, please, I beg. In the narrow streets of a large town, people often heard in the evening, when the sun was setting and his last rays had gave a golden tint to the chimney pots, a strange noise which resembled the sound of a church bell. It only lasted an instant, for it was lost in the continual roar of traffic and hum of voices which rose from the town. "The evening bell is ringing," people used to say. "The sun is setting." Those who walked outside the town, where the houses were less crowded and interspersed by gardens and little fields, saw the evening sky much better and heard the sound of the bell much more clearly. It seemed as though the sound came from a church deep in the calm, fragrant wood, and thither people looked with devout feelings. A considerable time elapsed. One said to the other, "I really wonder if there is a church out in the wood. The bell has indeed a strange, sweet sound. Shall we go there and see what the cause of it is?" The rich drove, the poor walked, but the way seemed to them extraordinarily long, and when they arrived at a number of willow trees on the border of the wood, they sat down, looked up into the great branches, and thought they were now really in the wood. A confectioner from the town also came out and put up a stall there. Then came another confectioner who hung a bell over his stall, which was covered with pitch to protest it from the rain, but the clapper was wanting. When people came home, they used to say that it had been very romantic, and that really means something else than merely taking tea. 3 persons declared that they had gone as far as the end of the wood. They had always heard the strange sound, but there it seemed to them as if it came from the town. One of them wrote verses about the bell and said that it was like the voice of a mother speaking to an intelligent and beloved child. No tune, he said, was sweeter than the sound of the bell. The emperor of the country heard of it, declared that he who would really find out where the sound came from should receive the title of bell ringer to the world, even if there was no bell at all. Now many went out into the wood for the sake of this splendid birth, but only one of them came back with some sort of explanation. None of them had gone far enough, nor had he, and yet he said that the sound of the bell came from a large owl in a hollow tree. It was a wisdom owl, which continually knocked its head against the tree, but he was unable to say with certainty whether its head or the hollow trunk of the tree was the cause of the noise. He was appointed bell ringer to the world and wrote every year a short dissertation on the owl, but by this means people did not become any wiser than they had been before. It was just confirmation day. The clergyman had delivered a beautiful and touching sermon. The candidates were deeply moved by it. It was indeed a very important day for them. They were all at once transformed from mere children to grown-up people. The childish soul was to fly over, as it were, into a more reasonable being. The sun shone most brightly, and the sound of the great unknown bell was heard more distinctly than ever. They had a mind to go thither, all except three. One of them wished to go home and try on her ball dress, for this very dress and the ball were the cause of her being confirmed this time. Otherwise, she would not have been allowed to go. The second, a poor boy, had borrowed a coat and a pair of boots from the son of his landlord to be confirmed in, and he had to return them at a certain time. The third said that he never went into strange places if his parents were not with him. He had always been a good child and wished to remain so, even after being confirmed, and they ought not to tease him for this. They, however, did it all the same. These three, therefore, did not go. The others went on. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and the confirmed children sang too, holding each other by the hand, for they had no position yet, and they were all equal in the eyes of God. Two of the smallest soon became tired and returned to the town. Two little girls sat down and made garlands of flowers. They, therefore, did not go on. When the others arrived at the willow trees, where the confectioner had put up his stall, they said, "Now we are out here. The bell does not in reality exist. It is only something that people imagine." Then suddenly, the sound of the bell was heard so beautifully and solemnly from the wood that 4 or 5 made up their minds to go still further on. The wood was very thickly grown. It was difficult to advance. Wood lilies and anemones grew almost too high, flowering convolvully, and brambles were hanging like garlands from tree to tree, while the nightingales were singing and the sunbeams played. It was very beautiful, but the way was unfit for the girls. They would have torn their dresses. Large rocks covered with moss of various hues were lying about. The fresh spring water rippled forth, scrolling with a peculiar sound. "I don't think that can be the bell," said one of the confirmed children, and then he lay down and listened. "We must try to find out if it is." And there he remained and let the others walk on. They come to the hut built of the bark of trees and branches. A large crab apple tree spread its branches over it, as if it intended to pour all its fruit on the roof, upon which roses were blooming. The long boughs covered the gable where a little bell was hanging. Was this the one they had heard? All agreed that it must be so, except one who said that the bell was too small and too thin to be heard at such distance, and that it had quite a different sound to that which had so touched men's hearts. He who spoke was a king's son, and therefore the others said that such a one always wishes to be cleverer than other people. Oh my god, I keep burping. Sorry. Therefore, they let him go alone, and as he walked on, the solitude of the wood produced a feeling of reverence in his breast. But still he heard the little bell about which the others rejoiced, and sometimes when the wind blew in that direction, he could hear the sounds from the confectioner's stall, where the others were singing at tea. But the deep sounds of the bell were much stronger. Soon it seemed to him as if an organ played an accompaniment. The sound came from the left, from the side where the heart is. Now something rustled among the bushes, and a little boy stood before the king's son. in wooden shoes and such a short jacket that the sleeves did not reach to his wrists. They knew each other. The boy was the one who had not been able to go with them because he had to take the coat and boots back to his landlord's son. That he had done, and had started again in his wooden shoes and old clothes, for the sound of the bell was too enticing. He felt he must go on. "We might go together," said the king's son. But the poor boy with the wooden shoes was quite ashamed. He pulled at the short sleeves of his jacket and said that he was afraid he could not walk so fast. Besides, he was of opinion that the bell ought to be sought at the right, for there was all that was grand and magnificent. "Then we shall not meet," said the king's son, nodding to the poor boy, who went into the deepest part of the wood, where the thorns tore his shabby clothes and scratched his hands, face, and feet until they bled. The king's son also received several good scratches, but the sun was shining on his way, and it is he whom he will now follow, for he was a quick fellow. I must find the bell," he said, "if I have to go to the end of the world." There you go. Huh? Oh no, hold on. Okay, should be good, right? No, you can't see it. Okay, hold on. And there you go. Okay, sorry. Ugly monkeys sat high in the branches and clenched their teeth. "Shall we beat him?" they said. "Shall we thrash him? He is a king's son." Scrawly. But he walked on undaunted, deeper and deeper into the wood, where the most wonderful flowers were growing. There were standing white star lilies with blood-red stamens, sky-blue tulips shining when the wind moved them, apple trees covered with apples like large glittering soap bubbles. Only think how resplendent these trees were in the sunshine. All around were beautiful green meadows, where hart and hind played in the grass. There grew magnificent oaks and beech trees, and if the bark was split of any of them, long blades of grass grew out of the clefts. There were also large, smooth lakes in the wood, on which the swans were swimming about and flapping their wings. The king's son often stood still and listened. Sometimes he thought that the sound of the bell rose up to him out of one of these deep lakes, but soon he found that this was a mistake, and that the bell was ringing still farther in the wood. Then the sun set. The clouds were as red as fire. It became quiet in the wood. He sank down on his knees, sang an evening hymn, and said, "I shall never find what I am looking for. Now the sun is setting, and the dark night, is approaching. Yet I might perhaps see the round sun once more before he disappears beneath the horizon. I will climb up these rocks, and they are as high as the highest trees." And then, taking hold of the creepers and roots, he climbed up on the wet stones, where water snakes were wriggling and the toads, as it were, barked at him. He reached the top before the sun, seen from such a height, had quite set. Oh, what a splendor! The sea, the great majestic sea, which was rolling its long waves against the shore, stretched out before him, and the sun was standing like a large bright altar, and there were sea, and there where sea and heaven met, all melted together in the most glowing colors. The wood was singing, and his heart too. The whole of nature was one large holy church in which the trees and hovering clouds formed the pillars, the flowers and the grass, the woven velvet carpet, and heaven itself was the great cupola. Cupola? Up there, the flame color vanished as soon as the sun disappeared. But millions of stars were lighted, diamond lamps were shining, and the king's son stretched his arms out towards heaven, towards the sea, and towards the wood. Then suddenly, the poor boy with the short-sleeved jacket and the wooden shoes appeared. He had arrived just as quickly on the road he had chosen, and they ran towards each other and took one another's hand. In the great cathedral of nature and poesy, and above them sounded the invisible holy bell. Happy spirits surrounded them, singing hallelujah and rejoicing. Oh, that's it. The end. No. So the bell is not real. Oh no. Yabai moment. Wait, what? Hold on, let me catch up. Oh hi Unokora. How are you? I hope you have a wonderful day. Good luck with everything that you do. OBS also slept because of the ASMR. Oh no. Isn't this the way? On the contrary, I discovered there's a fishing minigame. What? It's a beautiful Dwayne. And the sun was almost down from the top of the sky. From tree to tree. Torn dresses march on. Burp. Were you able to hear my burp? Oh no. Sun on sun action. Suba, please. Wooden shoes sounds awful. Yeah. This whole time I thought they were getting further from the bell. Okay, yabai moment. What was that? What happened there? I didn't know. What was the yabai moment? Oh no. Creeper? Hans Christian Andersen invented Minecraft before Minecraft. Creeper is referring to crawl up vine plants like ivy, morning glory, or okay. YouTube really censored me saying, "Oh man, oh no, did they die?" I think so too. I feel like a fever dream hearing this again. Wait, what? So the real bell was the religion we believe along the way. Dun dun dun. We can hear everything, will you? Oh no. So you could hear me burp regardless if I were to like face away from the microphone. Oh. I might as well just burp then to the microphone. Oh, you know. Oh, sun on sun action was the yabai. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. I'm sorry. Makes me think of the bell calling the dead and departed. Yeah, that's what I feel. I think that's what it means, but the thing is, why those two, you know? Why is it the king's son and the poor boy? Why them? You know? That's what I'm curious about. Maybe I should reread it again later on my own. Hot sun and sun action fairy tale. Oh my god. Alright. Last story. Ta-da! This one. Wait, no. The one that I read was actually the bell, but I didn't remember the story at all. But I did remember reading that title. the bell. But yeah, I didn't remember any story, like any of it. I was as shocked as you guys when finding out. Alright, last story. Trust me, Faceless definitely wasn't just being silly. The further they moved from the city, the clearer the bell became, the harder the path was as well. Most people stopped when things got tough, so they never heard the bell the clearest. Oh, that's a nice way to put it, Juan. I mean, to kind of like the conclusion of it. Yeah. Yeah, they like some of those children did stop. Oh, and even though the king's son and the poor boy had different paths, they ended at the same place. Oh, that's a nice way to put it. I mean, to again like a conclusion. Oh, thank you, Juan. What was it? Gracias, mucho gracias. Yeah, it is true. That's a good way to, yeah. Thank you. Oh, now my eyes are itchy. Alright. It's like I said, it's like a fever dream. I have to reread it again. Yeah, me too. But yeah, just for the heck of like getting into it more, like immerse it. Because I know when I read it, I'm more cautious about reading it out loud than immersing the story. So yeah. Right, last story. Can I even clap? Nope, the mic didn't pick it up. Okay. The Fear Tree by Hans Christian Andersen, 1845. Now, hold on, before we start, I will pronounce the word fear, like fear. I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but I'm gonna say it like that. Fear, the fear tree. Okay. Okay. Far down in the forest, where the warm sun and the fresh air made a sweet resting place, grew a pretty little fear tree. And yet it was not happy. It wished so much to be tall like its companions, the pines and firs which grew round it. The sun shone, and the soft air fluttered its leaves, and the little peasant children passed by, prattling merrily, but the fir tree heeded them not. Sometimes the children would bring a large basket of raspberries or strawberries, wreathed on a straw, and seat themselves near the fir tree, and say, "Is it not a pretty little tree?" Which made it feel more unhappy than before. And yet all this while the tree grew a notch or joint taller every year. For by the number of joints in the stem of a fir tree, we can discover its age. Still, as it grew, we complained, "Oh, how I wish I were as tall as the other trees, then I would spread out my branches on every side, and my top would overlook the wide world. I should have the birds building their nests on my boughs, and when the wind blew, I should bow with stately dignity like my tall companions." The tree was so discontented that it took no pleasure in the warm sunshine, the birds, or the rosy clouds that floated over it morning and evening. Sometimes in winter, when the snow lay white and glittering on the ground, a hare would come springing along and jump right over the little tree. And then how mortified it would feel. 2 winters passed, and when the third arrived, the tree had grown so tall that the hare was obliged to run round it. Yet it remained unsatisfied and would exclaim, "Oh, if I could but keep on growing tall and old, there is nothing else worth caring for in the world." In the autumn, as usual, the woodcutters came and cut down several of the tallest trees, and the young fir tree, which was now grown to its full height, shattered as the noble trees fell to the earth with crash. Scrolling. I hope you can find where I got left off. Here. After the branches were lopped off, the trunks looked so slender and bare that they could scarcely be recognized. Then they were placed upon wagons and drawn by horses out of the forest. Where were they going? What would become of them? The young fir tree wished very much to know. So in the spring, when the swallows and storks came, it asked, "Do you know where those trees were taken? Did you meet them?" The swallow, oh no, hold on, I got a cramp. Oh my god. Oh no. I suddenly got a cramp on my foot. Oh no. Okay, I'm ready. Scrolling. Oh, there you go. Okay. The swallows knew nothing, but the stork, after a little reflection, nodded his head and said, "Yes, I think I do. I met several new ships when I flew from Egypt. And they had fine masts that smelt like fear." Hold on. I thought I heard something. I think this must have been the trees. I assure you they were stately, very stately. Oh, how I wish I were tall enough to go on to the sea, said the fir tree. What is the sea, and what does it look like? It will take too much time to explain, said the stork, flying quickly away. Rejoice in thy youth, said the sunbeam. Rejoice in thy fresh growth and the young life that is in thee. And the wind kissed the tree, and the dew watered it with tears, but the fir tree regarded them not. Christmas time drew near, and many young trees were cut down, some even smaller and younger than the fir tree, who enjoyed neither rest nor peace with longing to leave its forest home. These young trees, which were chosen for their beauty, kept their branches and were also laid on wagons and drawn by horses out of the forest. Where are they going? Asked the fir tree. They are not taller than I am. Indeed, one is much less. And why are the branches not cut off? Where are they going? We know, sang the sparrows. We have looked in at the windows of the houses in the town, and we know what is done with them. They are dressed up in the most splendid manner. We have seen them standing in the middle of a warm room and adorned with all sorts of beautiful things, honey cakes, gilded apples, playthings, and many hundreds of wax tapers. And then? Asked the fir tree, trembling through all its branches. And then what happens? "We do not see any more," said the sparrows, but this was enough for us. "I wonder whether anything so brilliant will ever happen to me," thought the fir tree. "It would be much better than crossing the sea. I long for it almost with pain. Oh, when will Christmas be here? I am now as tall and well grown as those which were taken away last year. Oh, that I were now laid on the wagon or standing in the warm room with all that brightness and splendor around me. Something better and more beautiful is to come after, or the trees would not be so decked out. Yes, what follows will be grander and more splendid. What can it be? I'm weary with longing. I scarcely know how I feel." Scrolling. Okay. "Rejoice with us," said the air and the sunlight. "Enjoy thine own bright life in the fresh air." Scrolling again. There you go. Hold on. Will it fit? No, you don't. Okay. But the tree would not rejoice, though it grew taller every day, and winter and summer, its dark green foliage might be seen in the forest, while passers-by would say, "What a beautiful tree." A short time before Christmas, the discontent fir tree was the first to fall. As the axe cut through the stem and divided the pith, the tree fell with a groan to the earth, conscious of pain and faintness, and forgetting all its anticipations of happiness, in sorrow at leaving its home in the forest. It knew that it should never again see its dear old companions, the trees, nor the little bushes and many colored flowers that had grown by its side, perhaps not even the birds. Neither was the journey at all pleasant. The tree first recovered itself while being unpacked in the courtyard of a house with several other trees, and it heard a man say, "We only want one, and this is the prettiest." Then came two servants in grand livery and carried the fir tree into a large and beautiful apartment. On the walls hung pictures, and near the great stove stood great china vases with lions on the lids. There were rocking chairs, silken sofas, large tables covered with pictures, books, and playthings worth a great deal of money. At least the children said so. Then the fir tree was placed in a large tub full of sand, but green baize hung all around it so that no one could see it was a tub. And it stood on a very handsome carpet. How the fir tree trembled! What was going to happen to him now? Some young ladies came, and the servants helped them to adorn the tree. On one branch they hung little bags cut out of colored paper, and each bag was filled with sweetmeats. From other branches hung gilded apples and walnuts, as if they had grown there. And above and all around were hundreds of red, blue, and white tapers, which were fastened on the branches. Dolls, exactly like real babies, were placed under the green leaves. The tree had never seen such things before. And at the very top was fastened a glittering star made of tinsel. Oh, it was very beautiful. This evening, they all exclaimed, "How bright it will be!" Oh, that the evening were to come, thought the tree, and the tapers lighted, and I shall know what else is going to happen. Will the trees of the forest come to see me? I wonder if the sparrows will peep in at the windows as they fly. Shall I grow faster here and keep on all these ornaments summer and winter? But guessing was of very little use. It made his bark ache, and this pain is as bad for a slender fir tree as headache is for us. At last, the tapers were lighted, and then what a glistening blaze of light the tree presented. It trembled so with joy in all its branches that one of the candles fell among the green leaves and burned some of them. "Help! Help!" exclaimed the young ladies. But there was no danger, for they quickly extinguished the fire. After this, the tree tried not to tremble at all, though the fire frightened him. He was so anxious not to hurt any of the beautiful ornaments, even while their brilliancy dazzled him. And now the folding doors were thrown open, and a troop of children rushed in as if they intended to upset the tree. They were followed more silently by their elders. For a moment the little ones stood silent with astonishment, and then they shouted for joy till the room rang, and they danced merrily around the tree, while one present after another was taken from it. "What are they doing? What will happen next?" thought the fir. At last the candles burned down to the branches and were put out. Then the children received permission to plunder the tree. Oh, how they rushed upon it till the branches cracked, and had it not been fastened with a glistening star to the ceiling, it must have been thrown down. The children then danced about with their pretty toys, and no one noticed the tree, except the children's maid, who came and peeped among the branches to see if an apple or a fig had been forgotten. "A story, a story!" cried the children, pulling the little fat man towards the tree. "Now we shall be in the green shade," said the man, as he seated himself under it, "and the tree will have the pleasure of hearing also. But I shall only relate one story. What shall it be? Evid, Evid, or Humpty Dumpty, who fell downstairs but soon got up again and at last married a princess?"
"Evid, Evid!"
cried some.
"Humpty Dumpty!"
cried others, and there was a fine shouting and crying out. But the fir tree remained quite still and thought to himself, "Shall I have anything to do with all this?" But he had already amused them as much as they wished. Then the old man told them the story of Humpty Dumpty, how he fell downstairs and was raised up again and married a princess. And the children clapped their hands and cried,
"Tell another, tell another!"
for they wanted to hear the story of Evid, Evid. But they only had Humpty Dumpty. After this, the fir tree became quite silent and thoughtful. Never had the birds in the forest told such tales as Humpty Dumpty, who fell downstairs and yet married a princess. Scrolling. Ah, yes, so it happens in the world, thought the fir tree. He believed it all because it was related by such a nice man. Ah, well, he thought, who knows? Perhaps I may fall down too and marry a princess. And he looked forward joyfully to the next evening, expecting to be again decked out with lights and playthings, gold and fruit. "Tomorrow I will not tremble," thought he. "I will enjoy all my splendor, and I shall hear the story of Humpty Dumpty again, and perhaps even avid. And the tree remained quiet and thoughtful all night. In the morning, the servants and the housemaid came in. Now, thought the fear, all my splendor is going to begin again. But they dragged him out of the room and upstairs to the garret and threw him on the floor in a dark corner where no daylight shone, and there they left him. What does this mean? Thought the tree. What am I to do here? I can hear nothing in a place like this. And he had time enough to think. For days and nights passed and no one came near him. And when at last somebody did come, it was only to put away large boxes in a corner. So the tree was completely hidden from sight, as if it had never existed. It is winter now, thought the tree. The ground is hard and covered with snow, so that people cannot plant me. I shall be sheltered here, I dare say, until spring comes. How thoughtful and kind everybody is to me. Still, I wish this place were not so dark, as well as lonely, with not even a little hare to look at. How pleasant it was out in the forest while the snow lay on the ground, when the hare would run by, yes, and jump over me too, although I did not like it then. Oh, it is terrible lonely here. Scrolling.
Squeak, squeak.
Said a little mouse, creeping cautiously towards the tree. Then came another, and they both sniffed at the fir tree and crept between the branches.
Ooh, it is very cold,
said the little mouse.
or else we should be so comfortable here, shouldn't we, you old fir tree?
I am not old, said the fir tree. There are many who are older than I am.
Where do you come from, and what do you know?
Asked the mice, who were full of curiosity.
Have you seen the most beautiful places in the world? And can you tell us all about them? And have you been in the storeroom where cheeses lie on the shelf and hams hang from the ceiling? One cannot run about on tallow candles there and go in thin and come out fat.
I know nothing of that place, said the fir tree. But I know the wood where the sun shines and the birds sing. And then the tree told the little mice all about its youth. They had never heard such an account in their lives, and after they had listened to it attentively, they said,
What a number of things you have seen! You must have been very happy.
Happy? Exclaimed the fir tree. And then as he reflected upon what he had been telling them, he said, Ah, yes. After all, those were happy days. After all, those were happy days. But when he went on and related all about Christmas Eve and how he had been dressed up with cakes and lights, the mice said,
How happy you must have been, you old fir tree.
I am not old at all, replied the tree. I only came from the forest this winter. I am now checked in my growth.
What splendid stories you can relate,
said the little mice. And the next night, 4 other mice came with them to hear what the tree had to tell. The more he talked, the more he remembered, and then he thought to himself, those were happy days, but they may come again. Humpty Dumpty fell downstairs, and yet he married the princess. Scrolling. Perhaps I may marry a princess too. And the fir tree thought of the pretty little birch tree that grew in the forest, which was to him a real beautiful princess.
Who is Humpty Dumpty?
Asked the little mice.
And then the tree related the whole story. He could remember every single word, and the little mice was so delighted with it that they were ready to jump to the top of the tree. The next night, a great many more mice made their appearance, and on Sunday, 2 rats came with them. But they said it was not a pretty story at all, and the little mice were very sorry, for it made them also think less of it. Do you know only one story? Asked the rats. Only one, replied the fir tree. I heard it on the happiest evening of my life, but I did not know I was so happy at the time. We think it is a very miserable story, said the rats. Don't you know any story about bacon or tallow in the storeroom? No, replied the tree. Many thanks to you then, replied the rats, and they marched off. The little mice also kept away after this, and the tree sighed and said, It was very pleasant when the merry little mice sat around me and listened while I talked. Now that is all past too. However, I shall consider myself happy when someone comes to take me out of this place. But would this ever happen? Yes. One morning, people came to clear out the garret. The boxes were packed away, and the tree was pulled out of the corner and thrown roughly on the garret floor. Then the servant dragged it out upon the staircase where the daylight shone. Now life is beginning again, said the tree, rejoicing in the sunshine and fresh air. Then it was carried down the stairs and taken into the courtyard so quickly that it forgot to think of itself and could only look about. There was so much to be seen. The court was close to a garden where everything looked blooming. Fresh and fragrant roses hung over the little palings. The linden trees were in blossom, while the swallows flew here and there, crying, Tweet, 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 my maid is coming. But it was not the fir tree they meant. Now I shall leave, cried the tree, joyfully spreading out its branches. But alas, they were all withered and yellow, and it lay in a corner amongst weeds and nettles. The star of Culpeper still stuck in the top of the tree and glittered in the sunshine. In the same courtyard, 2 of the merry children were playing who had... hold on. In the same courtyard, 2 of the merry children were playing who had danced round the tree at Christmas and had been so happy. The youngest saw the gilded star and ran and pulled it off of the tree. Look what is sticking to the ugly old fir tree, said the child, treading on the branches till they crackled under his boots. Scrolling. Oh, okay. And the tree saw all the fresh, bright flowers in the garden, and then looked at itself and wished it had remained in the dark corner of the garret. It thought of its fresh youth in the forest, of the merry Christmas evening, and of the little mice who had listened to the story of Humpty Dumpty. Pass, pass, said the old tree. Oh, had I but enjoyed myself while I could have done so. But now it is too late. Then a lad came and chopped the tree into small pieces, till a large bundle lay in a heap on the ground. The pieces were placed in a fire under the copper, and they quickly blazed up brightly, while the tree sighed so deeply that each sigh was like a pistol shot. Then the children, who were at play, came and seated themselves in front of the fire and looked at it and cried, Pop, pop. But each pop, which was a deep sigh, the tree was thinking of a summer day in the forest, and of Christmas evening, and of Humpty Dumpty. the only story that had ever heard or knew how to relate, till at last it was consumed. The boys still played in the garden, and the youngest wore the golden star on his breast, with which the tree had been adorned during the happiest evening of its existence. Now all was past, the tree's life was past, and the story also, for all stories must come to an end at last. The end. Yay! Oh, I like that last sentences. That's a good way to end everything because like I don't have any more stories to tell. Yeah, that's the story about the fair tree. Well, mutuals, you have to enjoy every moment, even if it seems like it's a bad day. But when you find that the tiniest little thing that makes you happy, you should remember it and enjoy it. And TLDR, the end. All right, actually, let me scroll up. Need to catch up with all the chats. Immersive storytelling. Oh my god. Fear sounds the same as fur unless you're Scottish. Ah, go man. Also, it's fur. All this time I've been saying it fear. Oh no. Go man. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Oh, I should have checked. Boop. And then boop. Almost have the same energy as the oak and weed story. Oh, I never heard of that. But more like bunk. This is so cozy. I almost fell asleep, but I must be awake. Oh no, I'm sorry, Lanka. Oh no. I might have fallen asleep during the second story, but I think I just spaced out. No, it's okay. Please take a rest. I mean, I think the idea of today's stream is so that it's like a bedtime story. I mean, I am reading fairy tales. So I hope you get, like, if it makes you sleepy, then that's good, so that you guys can have a good rest. Except for those who just started the day, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry for making you guys sleepy. Slowly realizing this has a subtle mass genocide tag materializing into existence. Oh no. No. I just realized this is about Christmas. Technically not really, but I think like the Christmas part was pretty big in the story. Yeah, genocidal Christmas. Excuse me. A tree. Why am I here? Just to suffer. Oh my god, they just kept a tree corpse in the attic. Such heathens, I say. Squee. No rats in chat. Is this an immortal tree? No, it's not immortal. Princess is scurrying around. I thought the story was almost over. I thought so too. We got a long story. Yeah, it was a pretty long story. I thought it would be let me see. What about the bell? The bell was 4 pages. And the fir tree. Oh, the fir tree is, oh my god, 6, almost 7 pages. Wow, that's actually pretty long. Well, sorry for the long story. Oh, the tree is now a religion leader. Imagine that tree having a face. Oh no. Rats are ruthless. Yeah, in this story, yeah. TLDR, the end. And this was a children's story. You know what? I mean, it's a fairy tale, but are all fairy tales for children? We don't know. Or maybe back then, it is from the 1845, like,
you know, maybe around that time, like bedtime stories are pretty, you know, yeah. Now we're very spoiled and, very soft. Maybe back then, the babies that were the children that were born around this era, they're like, tough babies. I want more gore fairy tales. Probably. Moral of the story, don't be a tree. Mooyü is Scottish. I'm not Scottish. I know. Nah, makes me happy to hear in the morning. Okay. Did you just say ass or no? You're mishearing things. Fairy tales weren't originally for children, but by 1845 they mostly were. Oh, so perfect timing for Hans Christian Andersen. Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, that's it for today's stream.
There's the reading. I hope you guys enjoy it. I am sorry for mispronouncing a lot of words, and you could hear my tongue clicking and probably my burps, as well as my S's, when I said any words that ends with S, it sounds weird, like tss, tss, Yeah, I'm actually very hungry right now. So I really want to eat. I don't think the mic will pick up me munching a protein bar, right?
Let's see.
Oh man. Hold on. I'm so hungry. I'm actually very hungry. Like my stomach was rumbling in the middle of reading the story. But I had to hold myself together. Right. Thank you all for coming to my stream while I nom my protein bar. I hope you guys have a I hope you guys have a wonderful day and or evening while I'm eating. Oh my god, this protein. Okay, there you go. And take care, everyone. Good luck with everything that you do. Okay, don't forget to hydrate and don't forget to hydrate and stretch. Okay. Oh no, Garu just made it. We're just about to finish it. No, go man. But thank you for popping in, Garu. Good luck with everything that you do today.
Bye bye, everyone. Ochumu. Ochumuyu. Ochumuchua.
And I'm just here eating my protein bar. Thank you everyone for coming. Sorry, I got hungry.